live. Okay, we're live, David.
I think I've got about 6 more of these shirts, but you notice it's getting colder. I'm going to have to start looking for some fleecy ones. These ones are all about the Polynesian and Melanesian tropics. They get cold. I don't know what to do. Shall I go?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, it's David Lowe here again. It's Sunday the 5th of April, first day of daylight saving, so it'll get a bit darker. Today I'm going to talk to you about organics and, if there's time, biodynamics. This has come about as a question. I wanted to talk about it anyway. It's a fascinating subject. I've only got 10 to 15 minutes, so I'll try and get through as much as I can, and if there's interest, I'll be happy to carry on more with biodynamics at a later date. What I wanted to talk briefly about was the definitions of biodynamics and organics, why we do it. Obviously, it's something where I believe in firmly. How do we administer it? Can you tell the difference between organic and biodynamic and normal, conventional? And has it made a difference to the way we do things? And often people ask me, do the wines last? These are often questions I get asked at Cellar Door. I've been for 20 years, nearly every weekend, standing at Cellar Door showing people my wine, and that's one of the most regular questions. With organics, do the wines last? But let's go back to the start, organics and biodynamics. So organic is a process that you undertake through a certified authority. The same certifying authority also does biodynamics. It's controlled by legislation from the Department of Primary Industry, that's the federal body. They're doing a bit of other stuff at the moment, but technically they administer certifying authorities. There's two that are used in the wine industry. One's called ACO, which has got like a snail motif, and I'll show you later, and the other one's called NASA. Both of those you'll see on labels, on bottles, if you're drinking wine that's organic. It's really important if you make a claim that's organic, it's backed up by the notification and the producer or processor number and the logo of that organic certifier. So organics really tells you what you can't do. So organics really is a mantra that stops you using anything synthetic, anything that's not naturally occurring, anything that might be considered artificial. So to be organically certified requires you over about 3 years to demonstrate that you can manage any agricultural enterprise, particularly without the use of synthetics, anything that's not in itself certified organic, and you can manage any potential problem that might come up that you get normally in agriculture. Very simply, it means we can't use weedicides, something like Roundup, something like spray seed, something like Basta. These weedicides have got a schedule number, schedule 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to schedule 7. The higher number, the more poisonous. So anything that has a synthetic weedicide, we can't use in organics. Additionally, there are requirements that you need buffer zones. So if you have a problem with neighbours with there's spray drift or overhang of some bad conditions, you have to be able to manage that. So we have to set up and demonstrate these buffer zones. It's about 25 metres around the whole farm. That makes it easier to keep our own place in check. Additionally, there are regulations about how much wine you can make under organic and biodynamic, and so the audit process, which is an annual audit, checks that how much wine you make the claim for it, you don't order more labels, you don't put anything synthetic on, and you can manage your boundaries. They also do a spot audit every 2 or 3 years where they just turn up on any day and ask to see your records. So it's got teeth. It's tough, it's expensive, but I think that's something really good about it. Biodynamics, on the other hand, is a process started by Rudolf Steiner in 1923 with a few other collaborators in Germany and Austria. Look, he did a lot of really interesting things. You might have heard of the Steiner education system, but he did a lot of really wacko things that were really quite strange, quite a lot of fundamentalism in the way he processed agriculture. But he was asked to try and fix up where agriculture was suffering, particularly in the 1920s. There was a lot of monoculture. That means they were just practicing one type of crop. The cheese wasn't working very well, the milk was poor. So as a philosopher, he proposed a number of processes, a lot of them to do with the lift of biodiversity in the soil and the plants, and the second by the application time, particularly when understanding the cosmos. That's all I'll leave for the moment, because I'll come back to that if there's time. So why do I do this? Well, I do organics because it makes better wine. The only reason I'm doing it is it makes better wine. I've always been taught from my original bosses in the wine industry in the Hunter Valley, make the best wine possible. There's so much rubbish around, you drink less and drink better. Organics to me is one of the greatest ways to get better quality produce. Organic fruit, organic vegetables, straight from the garden, straight from the orchard. There's no greater flavour. So when you're starting with organic fruit, you're starting at a head start. You're way ahead of the pack. Of course, you can still be a rubbish winemaker and turn it to vinegar. And organics doesn't guarantee it's great quality. Organic means that you're starting with better material. If you know what you're doing, I think you can make much better wine. And I'm fairly sure that we've done that over the last 20 years since I've been pursuing organics. What I can't do is prove it, because if I did an inorganic wine on the winery, I would lose my organic status. But if there's time, I'll also explain what I see as the important differences in taste and flavour and the way we make wine from organic versus conventional. So as I said, it's administered by the certifying authorities, and every year they give you the tick. If there's something wrong, it's called a CAR, or corrective action required. Too many of those, of course, then you may lose your certification when they do the audit. So how do I tell the difference between organic and biodynamic? Well, we're standing in my vineyard we call Block 5. We spray it about 3 times. My neighbours to the west and to the north of us spray between 12 and 15 times a year. We change the way we grow things, we change the way we manage it to manage it, because with organics you don't have any weapons, you can't kill things, you have to cohabit with your environment. So you need a combination of natural remedies to fix any problems that might come up. For example, with weedicide, I don't use weedicide, so I till the vineyard or I slash the weeds. I make sure that the weeds aren't aggressive weeds, so they don't rob the vine of nutrients and moisture when the growing season. In terms of sprays, I'm allowed to use 2 organic sprays, which I put on, but very rarely, because the vines are tougher because of the way we manage the vineyard. There's less yield. And one of the biggest challenges with organics is that you do lose productivity. We cannot operate in the same system, the same agricultural system as conventional, because conventional agriculture was really about improving yields, improving the crop level. We talk in tonnes per hectare. If I wanted to be more productive, I need to put more inputs, more fertiliser, more steroids if you like. To do that, there's more things can go wrong. Higher productivity means more need for fertiliser, more need for moisture, more need for sprays, more need for intervention. So by taking a low intervention process, we really don't have to worry about any inputs. The vines just balance themselves. And that's where it runs parallel with biodynamics. Biodynamics picks up and lifts the environment so the plants can live in a habitat without intervention. The result of all that is you have less productivity. I don't sell by yield, I sell by price and quality. That's why I think it sits perfectly with the way I want to do things and the way the industry is going. Drink less and drink better. So can I tell the difference? Well, because I need to have less inputs, I think the wines speak better of its region. It's almost like you have to trust the fruit. Rather than go down to the vineyard every day and spray and water and fertilise and check it, we really leave our vines alone. I mean, I'm a lazy farmer probably. I don't have to get involved too much, because every year I know that the fruit is going to produce the best they can under that ecosystem they've just established. So there's a trust between myself and the fruit every year. And every year our differences are greater because of the season. And because the wine industry sells wine by vintage, 1 year is different from the next, that's a very interesting tool for people, the public, to try wines that are different all the time. Now, I've got 2 flies crawling on my nose. Can you believe that? I got one of them. Can you tell the difference between biodynamics, organics and conventional? Well, I would say that conventional agriculture, the wines are much higher cropping. There's more yield. And effectively, if you talk about European experience, the higher the yield, the lower the quality. To me, the wines have an adjustment. So when you make wines conventionally, you need to adjust for the characters that may or may not be there that you want to achieve when you design a wine. We don't design wines in organics and biodynamics. We take the fruit that's delivered and we turn it into something we think is going to be the best representation of the region, of the meteorology, the history, and how we feel about the wine. So we don't have to interfere. So I think the wines that we make have greater texture. There's less of this dryness, hardness, less acidity. The wines seem to have a softness and a duality of being really attractive when they're young and superb when they're old. Which comes to another point people ask me, doesn't organics mean they age very quickly? And I think 20 years ago I would have agreed with that proposition. A lot of winemakers with organics were struggling to understand the system and struggled with trying to make the best wine possible. And I think a lot of people were fundamentalists or zealots about organics, and as such they weren't particularly understanding that you have to be very clean. You can't have too many bugs, you have to have a very clean winery, and I think some of the wines were rampantly oxidised or volatile or vinegary, and I think there was an unfair allegation that these wines aged very quickly, and they probably did a long time ago. Now, my organic wines since 2003 are still good, still superb. There is no difference between organic and conventional in aging. Now it's about time I quickly looked under the, we've got a glass tree here, and look, it grows glasses too. These vines are terrific, these Shiraz vines, and also in the ground, guess what I've got? I've got a nice bottle of Block 8.
Oh wow, you grow your
ground.
bottles of wine out of the ground?
Yes.
Yeah.
Come and grab this one, and we're going to have this glass together. Any questions you have?
Well, we had one question come through last week from our Facebook follower who asked, how do you manage the weeds and the grass between the vines?
Yes, yes. Oh, now this is the logo. I don't know if you can see it. There's a little green logo there. That's the certified organic logo. Now back to the weeds. Yes. So I don't know if you can see the vineyard, but we have a machine that goes along and a little rubber ring that knocks the weeds out as it drives along. It cultivates a strip about 1/2 metre either side of the vines in this vineyard, and a little rubber ring, little round mould wipes the grass out in between it. That's on this block. On the other vineyards, we plant them 3 metres by 3 metres, and we have no trellising. There's no wire on these vineyards, so we can go many different directions. We can go perpendicular, horizontal, and we can also go laterally at angle. So we can actually cultivate the weeds out because there's no impediment by wire. Wire was introduced a long time ago. That's 4mm wire that you buy from BHP, if you like, and that was used to carry the load of fruit, to carry more productivity. If there's time later, at another time, I might talk to you about how we practice agriculture very differently from most people in Australia, more akin to some of those places in Mediterranean Europe and North Africa, where grapevines were heavily influenced by what Roman agriculture was all about. For now, cheers, thank you for watching. We're going to go and keep those questions coming in. I'll see you in a few days' time, and hopefully you'll still enjoy what I'm trying to say. Cheers, good health.
Cheers.
All right, now we're going to cut it off.